CloudSlayer podcast. Your host CloudSlayer here. Back with another banger here. I got a special guest in the house. One third of the gravy nail.
Yo,
Yeah, we got Gamber. Matt Gamber, what's up, brother?
how's it going? Good to be here. I'm excited as fuck. Let's get weird.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to this. It's nice to get out of the basement for a little bit. It's been weird.
Stop smelling Eric's farts.
Oh, man.
Just
Yeah.
kidding, Eric. We love you, brother. Very good friend of mine here. We work together and we talk a lot of shit. So, but anyways, Er- uh, Matt's
All love.
Matt's joining me on the podcast here. Let's see here. Where do we start? How was the weekend so far?
Weekend's been good. Typical stuff, We did the snow removal. We did the indoor board games because it was chilly. We threw snowballs at the dog. Some really nice things, man. Some really good things.
Hell
How
yeah.
about you? How was your weekend?
It was pretty good. Just like you said, I shoveled stuff like that. Always fun. Spend time with the kid. Cooked food. All the fun shit.
Yeah.
Stayed out of trouble.
Yes. That's the goal, right?
Hell yeah. But anyways, we come here today to have a little bit of fun, but also show a little bit of a serious side of ourselves. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I do. You know how it is, like touching on a little bit of mental health and stuff like that. So
That's why I'm kind of excited to be here to kind of break away, to show my soft, sensitive side. Like we yuck it up in the basement a lot and stuff, and I think a lot of that is we use humor as a deterrence to diffuse situations, to guard ourselves. So some of what we do is what is going on out in the world. We're cracking jokes, we're spitting wise, whatever, and we make jabs, but at its core, you have to think about, the humor. Like, is it at somebody else's expense? And why is that making you feel better? So it's like, we're all kind of there because we have the common ground. We all come from a background of, bad behavior, troubles with the law, drugs, alcohol, and have you. I don't want to speak for the whole crew, but, we've all been there. We've all seen it. And I think we've come away from it with beautiful perspective.
absolutely.
Definitely some scars, but I think that's what brought us all together, and that's why I'm stoked to have met you through work and
Oh yeah, brother.
pulling all this together. And you've been an awesome dude to work with for this entire time.
Oh yeah.
Stoked to listen to your podcast and listen to the positivity, the stuff that you're sharing with people.
Fuck yeah.
It's nice.
I'm gonna be honest. Watching you guys do like the first episode, it got me motivated. It's like, what the fuck am I doing? Just sitting around here, you big oaf, get off your butthole. Let's get some stuff done.
All you need is some random equipment and a place to, spit some words, and it worked out. Here we are,
Yep. Fell in like Tetris, but
Oh, tight.
TIT. Going along with that stuff, let's ask the first question here. So, there's always highs, there's always lows. There's for sure a lot of lows, but
Yes, sir.
let's talk about some of the highs. What is one of your highest, most fondest moment in your time of darkness? Let's say.
So I will say that my worst day sober is better than any day I've ever had drunk. I'll just get that out of the way. But in times, before you're always an alcoholic, right? That's me. That's what I have to, hi, my name's Matt. Fuck you too. Anyways, you're there before you realize that you are, I guess, in essence. If they say it's a disease and you believe that, then that's where you're at. But before the alcoholism really sets in, before it starts taking a hold of your life, you're able to have some fun. Like when you start drinking and everything seems lovely and you're just like a weekend warrior, then you start going on benders and stuff. But in the beginning, we used to have some fun times. I never really drank too much in Colorado, but coming up here, it was kind of easy, and I didn't know anybody else, so like,
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
liquor was available. You
Right,
know what I
right.
mean? Like
Older people
sometimes,
pick it up for you and
yeah,
shit like
you know what
that.
I mean.
Yeah.
So
I had my own buddy like that where he'd be like, "Hey, bro, pick up a bottle." He's like, "Yeah, what you
yeah,
need?"
but I mean, like a good time could be had. All you need was a bottle, a couple fun kids, and but
Mhm.
the party stops.
Absolutely,
Eventually.
absolutely. I guess when it stops, like when did you know? You know what I mean? How did you know? Where were you at that point that told you that it was over? You know what I mean?
Ooh, that's a long hustle
I'm sorry,
there.
my bad.
No, you're good because that's why I'm here. Is to share this stuff, and hopefully somebody can take something from it and relate, or But when you start realizing it, you play tricks on yourself. Yeah, so um, you're going to the boozer every day, what have you. You tell yourself, I still have a job. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You're always clinging to, well, I'm still doing this, or at least I got this. I still got my driving license,
For now.
for now. But then when all those things systematically start to tick away and you're left there and you don't have the driving license, you don't have the job,
You don't
you
have the
don't have the
car.
home, you ain't got no funds, and you can't get a job, because the gear that you're rocking, is pretty damn haggard. That's when like, I mean, well before it gets that bad, but you keep telling yourself along the way that, I still have a job, I'm still okay. But anytime you have to tell yourself that,
Fuck yeah.
you're already done.
You're almost in a stage of denial sometimes when you're sitting there.
Truth.
You start blaming everybody else and shit. I remember I got in a little bit of trouble. I was like, man, these motherfuckers did that to me, blah blah blah. Pointing my finger at everybody else, but the one person that I should have been pointing it at.
Right.
You know.
Right there. It's close too. You can get to them real quick.
But
I
yeah.
thought I was leaving Colorado because, in 97, I had a scholarship to go to Colorado Aerotech, and I just turned 18, and like I think 2 weeks after I turned 18, I wound up in jail, and I was in like the same cell I could remember visiting my father in Georgetown, Colorado. So I was like,
Rough
this
shit.
is bogus,
Fuck yeah.
So I was like, do I want to stay in Colorado, try to pursue this whatever career that I'm not really interested in because drugs are priority, and then not hang out with them same friends that are all getting ourselves into trouble? So I kind of had to put myself aside. I moved way the hell up here.
Yeah.
Learning years later that I indeed was the problem, and I moved my own ass with me. Couldn't get away from all this.
Right.
But yeah, you
feel you there, brother.
learn too late that the trouble really starts within. You think it's everywhere around you. Oh, I'll just stop kicking it with so and so, or
Hell yeah.
yeah. It's
But if you don't quit those habits that you don't even know you have, then you might even fucking see them, but you just choose not to see them. You know what I mean? And
right.
it's a bad place to be in. It's it's not good for anybody mentally. Sure as hell not physically. You know what I mean? So
Truth. I will
um,
say though, like you can't escape all your problems by not hanging out with certain people because, like I said, your problems are inside. But as Travis pointed out, it's bad habits, and sometimes you have to distance yourself from other people to notice your bad habits, because if you all have the same hangups, you're not going to notice it. It's not going to bring light to anything, is what I'm saying. So sometimes a little distance will help you. It's not going to solve all the problems, but it could help bring to light some of the other shit that's going on.
Oh yeah, and I guess while I was doing it too, it was a touchy subject to talk about. You know what I mean? So, but what were some things that helped you come out and talk about it? Because I'm sure if anybody's out there, you guys might have had a hard time, even opening it up about it, or anything like that. Like, what'd you do when you found out? Like, what help did you seek, or did you have to seek it, or did it find you in a sense? I guess.
I think it was a combination of both. Like, there was a time where I was, homeless here in Bemidji, just kind of flopping around, bottle to bottle, and I was looking to get into treatment, and I was actively seeking it, but I hadn't fully accepted what that meant yet. Like I knew it was the right thing, and subconsciously part of me was pushing. And I
Right.
had some inspirational people, you know. Amanda was helping me along, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
telling me, giving me the push, you know, like you could do it.
Yeah. Get your ass in gear.
Yeah. So like I didn't really know what I was getting into, and then it happened,
Yeah.
and when I was working with the individual, I told him I didn't want a 90-day program and I
Gotcha.
didn't want a faith-based program. Because in my head, I'm thinking if I can get 30 days sobriety, I'll come out of this and just get a job all easy as piss,
Right. Right.
you know, and be sweet fuck all in the bank again, you know?
Yeah.
But so I got a 90-day program,
Yeah.
and it was a faith-based one. That's the only one I can get into.
Uh-huh.
And I had to go to what do they call that? Oh, now I'm drawing a blank. Detox.
Detox. Okay.
I had to go sit 3 days over there because I guess when I checked myself into the hospital,
Yeah.
you know, because they were going to pick me up and take me back over to Detroit Lakes, you have to do a blood analysis first.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a 2-2 then. It was
Oh.
9 in the morning.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
made me wait there, you know. But
Yeah.
he's like, he was gonna let me go. The doctor was gonna let me go. He's like, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "Well, I need a blood alcohol to get released so I can go to treatment."
Mhm.
And he's like, "Okay, stand up, walk around." He's like, "Clearly, you're fine."
Yeah.
And then he called them, and they're like, "No, you have to do it. You know, you don't know what these people can do."
Yeah.
You know?
Hell yeah.
And he's like, "Wow, so 0.22, you know." He's like, "You got me. Could have fooled me."
Yeah.
And that's like, that's the darkness, though, is like, that's your everyday life. People don't know when you're fucked up.
Yeah. You're
you
just
know,
a functional drunk at
yeah,
that point.
like highly functioning, you know, until the point where you cave and you can't keep the job. And
Okay. So when you started getting this help and, going to this faith-based thing, did your mindset start to change? Did things around you start changing, or did it take time for you to make change, I guess?
it was really scary because change was happening so fast.
Hmm.
And I, especially with religion being thrust into the program,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I grew up around many religions, you
Mhm.
know, and so to be in this, you know, Christian program, I was coming to terms with that, my sobriety, and everything all at once. And then it got to be the point where it was overwhelming, and the only thing I could do was just tell myself to just like let it ride, you know,
Let it
and
ride.
like let it literally like give it to God,
Give it to God.
you know, throw your hands up and say,
Praise
you
Jeebus.
know, like I'm done. I give it to you. Like I'm too weak. I basically said I surrender,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and I gave it all up. And then once I just was at my rock bottom,
Yeah.
I felt so good.
Yeah.
You know, I had
No stress.
had about 3 weeks sobriety at that point. I started going to church and like really enjoying it.
Mhm.
You know, doing outside projects,
Fuck yeah.
kicking ass in frisbee golf. That was real
Hell
good.
yeah, that's what's
Real
up.
good. Shout outs.
Yeah.
But
You gotta get that workout in, bro.
it was hard to start talking to people, and that
Mhm.
was one of the things we had to do in the church. We had to go around and we had to speak,
Yeah.
because we had to, you know, try to raise awareness and raise funds for, you know, this halfway house that I was getting involved with and stuff too.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Hell
Even, you know, like even this thing, I'm nervous. My
Me
bum's
too.
flapping like all the time. I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
Fuck yeah, you're
But I
good.
love
You're
it.
good, bro. You're a hard worker. You're an intelligent man. You know what I mean?
Thank
I,
you.
I know you probably don't see it in yourself, but those around you do see it. And you know, maybe we just got to be told more often.
Yeah, like, you know, and when you hear somebody like compliment you, take it. Like, don't be like, oh, fuck all that. You know, like, it's weird. I know. Nobody wants to, I try to live a humble life, you know, but like, thank you. Like, be genuine. You know, it's nice. When people notice things and they go out of their way to say something, they're not doing it 90% of the time to be a fuck ass like me. You know, this guy's actually quite nice and decent. So when he says something sweet, I'm going to fucking take it.
I'm a hard ass at work in a way. You know what I mean? But that's
You
just
work
where-
hard.
Yeah.
You know, you work your ass off.
Yeah.
And
That's
you
why I
know,
ain't got no buns saying because I
got,
made them.
got no ass, people. Got no your ass.
Absolutely, absolutely. But so after that upflip, there's always that little guy in your mind that's telling you, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, your subconscious that's perpetually trying to sabotage
Yeah,
you.
the little squeezy bastard.
Tell
Hey,
you things like, "Oh, you can go to the boozer because that's social drinking, or you could have just one and cut yourself off. You could do that." Oh man, I hate that little peckerhead.
how do you combat this little man?
You got to be the bigger guy and just let you build back up your confidence. You build up your self-esteem with morals and just trying to be a decent person, and that's how you start to get little wins and you feel good about yourself. And hopefully you could feed that inner good side enough to make it stronger so that you
Fuck yeah.
push the rest away. Like I used to do this thing in treatment and I swear by this. I made my bed. That's it. Sounds super simple, yeah? Well, that's it. Like I figured some days I was so sick or so pissed or so just whatever
Don't want to
that
get out of
I
bed.
couldn't do anything. But I figured if I made my bed, that was one win for the day. And then I would go from there. One win, fold the laundry. One win, take a walk, little bits and bobs. You got to get a hold of them.
Oh yeah, people not cleaning their shit, but it's a fucking workout, man. I sweat my butthole off when
Dude,
I'm
like
doing
and
all that.
just it's almost like therapy. Like when you're sweeping and your just mind is focused on
Sweating.
doing some stuff or splitting some woods, man,
Oh yeah,
you're in.
that's
Okay?
why us native people believe in like the sweat lodge and stuff like
Yes, yes, sir.
that. Yeah, we got to get that good sweat in.
I mean, I'll sweat in a
spa.
lodge, outside of a lodge. I will make sweat.
Eating cupcakes, I'll do it.
Oh.
Oh man, those dummy cupcakes.
But yes, I agree. Like you gotta immersify yourself, but those little wins, grab a hold of them.
Yeah.
And even just acts of kindness. Hold the door for some damn buddy. You know,
even if they don't say thank you,
Yeah,
shake it off. I'm like,
just
"Well,
let it go.
did it good."
You were rad. Just
Yeah.
know that you're rad.
Just imagine, I guess, imagine how you would feel if somebody did that for you, and even if it's not paid off, don't worry about that part. You know what I mean?
It's not
Somebody
about
sees
the
that.
return. Yeah, not always. Sometimes it's just about a win inside, and you're allowed to be selfish and take a win for you.
Absolutely.
Sometimes that's the only road to health is selfishness because you really need to put everything else aside and look within.
Hell yeah, those little goals, man. They'll get you big. They'll get you far.
Make your fucking bed.
Hell yeah. Oh man. But all right. So I guess
Well, I mean, we can skip forward, and I can tell you some of the struggles, I suppose, because we're 4 years in now. I've been sober 4.5 years,
4.5.
and over that time, you find the triggers along the way, that you never knew you had, whether it's a song or a fucking shitty sports commercial that you only ever heard when you were shitbag drunk, or hanging out in the rain on a summer's day, things like that make you thirsty. I
Yeah.
think that's the battle, and in all of it, complacency is your enemy.
Mhm.
As long as you remember every day, like, I know that I'm good because I'm not good. Like every day is a fight.
Oh,
Be
yeah.
mindful. You got to be vigilant.
You're fucking humanoid.
Yeah, like weird one too.
Yeah.
But yeah, complacency's a bitch. You can't ever say like, "Oh, I got this," because the moment that you say that, it's got you again.
Absolutely.
You got to be on your toes all the time.
Yeah. I guess when you got done becoming a better person, how do you stay as that better person? Do you gotta do things physically? Do you do things for your family? Various things like that.
I'm doing some of them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just surrounding yourself with good people, like-minded people,
Absolutely.
decent folks. It's not always like they say you want to be successful, surround yourself with successful people. That analogy works, but it's not always success financially. Like I find success in like a good conversation, like a win, a good day, a good interaction.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's like you want to surround yourself with those people, and that's how you stay good because they keep you on par. They challenge you every day with their own demeanor, and then if you have enough of you, if one of you's having a down day, there's always another one
So that can pick us up.
Somebody
So.
that can pick you up, and it goes full rotation.
Fuck
You
yeah.
keep the posse up. You know, it takes a fucking village to kick some ass around here.
To raise an idiot.
Yeah, you know. But yeah, I think like you having good friends is
Absolutely.
key. And when you're in sobriety or when you're in recovery, get those people. And you don't always have to look conventional places, AA sponsors. I never really did the AA thing. I stayed true to God and
Yeah.
did some weird stuff for Jesus.
Yeah, but
You know,
also like be aware that maybe you got to be that person that steps up and has to do that for somebody. You can't always just take for yourself. Spread
Right.
out for others. Help
yeah.
each other
Keep an
out.
eye on your friends too. They're not always going to tell you when they're down.
Yeah, you got to watch body interactions. You know, slump shoulders. or
Right. A
something
lot
like
of people say, well, I didn't want to say nothing because I didn't want him to be mad at me.
Yeah.
Well, sweet fuck all, because he can't be mad at nobody else if he's drinking his ass down by the river.
Right.
You
Right.
know, like
Hell yeah.
sometimes you just got to kick your friend in the dick and say you're doing it wrong, bro.
Hell yeah. I was lucky enough to have a couple of my buddies, talk me through it. They were also drinking buddies with mine at the time, but hell, man, they brought it to my face. It's bad when your friends who also drink with you tell you that you got a drinking problem. You know, it's a harsh reality, but you gotta take it. Take it. That's all you can do. Take it and grow from it. You know, maybe I do got a problem. That's
The truth hurts. That's
Yeah.
for damn sure. It
But-
never feels good to hear that you got a problem, but you know, it's time you start being a good listener.
fuck yeah, 100%. You know, shout out to both Josh and George. Those were the people in my life. You know, I love you guys. What's up, guys?
What's up, dudes?
They can't-
George, woo!
They can't do no wrong in my eyes. You know what I mean? Because
George
they're,
can.
they're physically, but you know these guys they'll spit that real shit at you. They'll tell you the truth about yourself, whether you want to hear it or not, because they're not people that are worried about if you care about it or not, because you need to hear it. You need people like that in your life, and if you got to be that person, don't be silent about it. Speak up, own up to it. That's going to create better individuals, I think, too.
Yep.
So
Yeah, you're basically, you being stronger is making your friends stronger. You all can, play off each other's energies, vibe right,
absolutely.
be cohesive humans, pay your damn taxes.
Be genuine with each other. You know what I mean? So it's not always got to be sadness or anything like that, because you're creating that atmosphere around yourself. So might as well make it happy. Might as well be comfortable. You know what I mean?
Okay, let's flip the script here for a second though, because we are love and light and everything's serious.
Yes, sir.
But if you were 65 years old on a deserted island and you had access to any kind of weird thing that you wanted, it could be carnival rides, it could be donkey shows, it could be gelato.
Yeah.
What would you want in abundance of? What would be your like secret addiction that you would just want to go out with a bang with at 65 on an island?
Probably friends. I'd
Friends?
say. Yeah. You can't enjoy
Oh,
anything
this
without
guy.
friends.
This guy.
Little
Oh.
cheeky. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go eat ice cream by myself.
Yeah, dude.
What about
can't
you?
Enjoy it. I don't know, dude. I mean, probably like your kids.
Yeah.
Like maybe not them, but like echoes of them. So you don't have to clean up after them. You just have like, all the memories. If you could just have like an island where like the memories
Yeah.
were just shadows that you could watch like movies.
Get a version where they just pick up after themselves.
Yeah. Other than that, it would be dark chocolate Kit Kats.
Yeah.
That's what I'd go with. A whole island of them.
One without Legos.
Whoa, yeah. So you never have to walk on them things
Yeah,
ever
We're,
again.
we're starting to get those smaller Legos,
Oh,
man.
dude,
hurt
they get worse. Because the older that your kid gets, the smaller the Legos get. But if you're not on point, they never really learn how to pick up after themselves, and don't have Legos and shag carpet, people.
Especially on a cold, rainy night where they're sick and you got to go tend to them.
Yeah, and you're like running to the room because you hear them heaving in the other room, and you're at full speed,
Right.
stepping on Legos.
So I guess like I'm not Christian or anything, and I don't, as I've stated out before, we don't like to force any religion on anybody, but I do want to ask, because at first, a lot of people, they don't believe in like a certain religion until they find it or it finds them. how did you finally accept that? You know what I mean? If it's too personal, you don't have to answer it.
No, that's a good question. I guess I never put it all. Let's see.
Because to me, all religion can be good for somebody. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the premise, yeah. Like I say, like Christian or whatever, because that's like the base of it.
Mhm.
But if I would say anything, I'd say I'm a man of faith more than a religious man.
Yeah.
As in, I don't follow a doctrine of the Bible per se. I just try to live like Christ, just try to be decent, like break some bread if you can.
Right.
Just be nice with it, use your dang manners.
Right.
I mean, as aggressive of a human as I am, like at my core, like I'm really like full of like all this moral fiber because I can constantly hear my mother over my shoulder.
Yeah.
But I think what brought me to my place of faith was just that. Like I needed something with the strength that I didn't have.
Gotcha.
And when you have God, whatever your God may be, like whoever your higher power, whatever your higher power,
Absolutely.
as long as you can pull energy from that decent, harmless, non-murderous energy,
Right.
then your God is as good as any other God, as
Absolutely.
long as it's keeping you happy and healthy. I think faith is the big thing. Whatever you believe in, as long as it's willing you to be a good person,
Right.
rock the fuck on.
Yeah, because no matter what, whether you were like a Buddhist or something like that, I'd
Truth.
still accept you as long as you're a good person to me. You know what I mean?
My friend's a Buddhist. Shout out Philly.
What
I
up?
love you.
So that's the only thing that should matter. We should, there's some people that are tied up on that, like
Right.
politics or something
I'm not
like
gonna,
that.
yeah, I'm not gonna like naysay. I'm not gonna yuck somebody's yum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Heck yeah.
if you have faith, I love you. That's awesome. Fucking right.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever it is, as long as, like I said, it's not with the premise of like hurting people. Like, oh, I believe in eating people's skin off their faces down in Florida. Like, I'm
be
not gonna
pretty
vibe with
tasty.
that so much. Like
Right.
rock on, but I mean, don't.
Don't
Please.
do it.
Please.
Don't do it. Oh shit! And then we had the Minnesota Vikings come back today. We got where's the football fans at?
I'm not good at the sportings.
We won in overtime though. We came back. I think we were like 17 down. I believe it's pretty crazy, but
I know I heard the kids in the other room shouting about it because they said the score, and my lady said, "What? They were just down, blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Whoa, video
Come
games,
back.
video games
Heck
are
yeah.
on."
I kind of seen the highlights, but not too much. Bills, tough team, but oh man, it's good to see a Minnesota team do good, especially in football. We had too many bad years. Aren't you a Denver Broncos fan?
I'm from Denver.
Don't know nothing about football.
I don't
Fuck
know
it.
enough about football. You support it because it's a home team, yeah? Like when I was a kid, the big thing was we would go to the doubleheaders of the Denver Zephyr games, minor league baseball.
Hell yeah,
That's what that's what we did.
yeah. What? So like you did that stuff, but what was your sport? You know what I mean? What was your addiction as a kid per se?
Like my athletic endeavors consisted primarily of skateboarding and snowboarding.
Ooh, nice.
When we were kids, the cousins and I were gifted snow or skateboards at some point in Christmas.
Oh,
like
yeah.
we always, all three got the same things. Like if one of us got a BMX bike, the aunts and uncles would conspire together. We'd all get the BMX bike.
Fuck yeah.
And so I think we all got skateboards. There were like some big gnarly Veriflex ones with all the plastics.
Fuck yeah.
And then it was over. We were just tooling the streets. And then I think in 6th grade, I started snowboarding through a Snow Dodgers program.
Gotcha.
And then it was on after that. My cousins came, and we all eventually wound up working at the ski area all at some point in time. And
Hell yeah.
just riding, dropped out of school,
Oh
got better
man.
at snowboarding, had to go back to school.
Try to go professional or
No,
what?
I was too much of a lanky goober,
But
but
who-
I had fun with it.
Who was your man back then or woman? Skateboarder?
I
whoever.
didn't really we didn't follow the pros. Like
No?
we were too busy, we were chasing Elvis by Ito on Loveland,
Oh, okay.
like
Just paying attention to
yeah,
yourself.
I think like the only one that I ever really looked up to was my snowboard instructor, Andy Kerr.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's the one that coined the phrase inverted death pudding. That was his
What?
signature trick.
Oh
where
man.
you just flip upside down in the half pipe and shake real bad and then flop on your back. Andy Kerr shout outs. I remember it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome as shit.
Excuse me.
But
But yeah,
I guess when did like drugs come into your life? You know what I mean? When did you become aware of them? Because there's some kids that they get a hold of that pretty young. There's some people that might not see it till they go to like high school or something. You never
right.
know.
Yeah, I suppose it kind of depends on your environment. Like
Mhm.
if you're like a suburban kid or a inner city kid,
Yeah,
if
people
you're in
from
the
all over.
outskirts, it came into my life very early on. I think like growing up, there was always like people was always smoking weed.
Yeah.
Everyone was getting high. Um, but it was to the point where we didn't really think anything of it.
Yeah.
To us, like we would see it and we wouldn't
Right.
think anything. Like if our parents did it, whatever.
Right.
It was just kind of like drinking some tea, like or they're having coffee, whatever.
Mhm.
And then you realize, I don't want to say this, but actually, I started to realize what drugs were when the DARE program came to our elementary school and gave us some drug education.
They're trying to prevent it, but they educate you on it.
Well, that didn't get. I mean, I did enjoy the DARE program, shout outs, but I started to understand that what my parents were doing might have not been as legit and simple as I thought.
Oh yeah.
And then so like you pinch some, and then you sneak around under the skateboard ramp and you smoke some.
Mhm.
And then you're weird and paranoid, and then you don't do it for
If
a
you
long
aren't
time.
already, I guess.
Right. Weirder. Then you don't do it for a while until you converse with others that giggle about the same thing,
Right.
and then you conspire together, and then it's, then you get bored, right? You live
Mhm.
in the same place for so long and there's not enough outlets. People choose different things to get their highs.
Oh yeah.
Be it adrenaline through, even like graffiti. People get adrenaline rushes from, crimes. It could be anything. So
Yeah.
the trouble is, like, if you have kids and they're bored, entertain them, not just physically, but mentally. Challenge them. Don't put
Do
them in
stuff
front
with
of the
them.
telly all the time. Don't,
Right.
like that screen time. And here we are talking on YouTube, but
Yeah.
legitimately, like we're parents and it's an issue. Like that's what worries me both is what kind of area our kids are going to have to grow up in. Like, is there opportunities and fun things to do at every age? Like, yes, there's parks. Those are fun for young kids.
Right.
What's there fun to do for teenagers? What's going to keep them out of trouble? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's really just getting bored and pushing the envelope.
Sometimes it's you being there with them, giving them good times. Will
Right.
do
You
that.
can make, I mean,
create
like,
a better bond between you and your child too? Because I think sometimes when they're like that and they don't listen to you, it's because you don't have that strong of a bond.
they don't see you, as
Like they
a mentor,
as a parent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're their friend. You got to have trust still as a parent to parent-child relationship. Because if you don't, then
That's
I ain't
the
gotta
fine
respect
balance, yeah. Like being the friend and father.
you. Yep.
You know what I mean?
You got to be
Like,
stern at times and shit like that. But
it's, I
it's
always
a balancing act.
say, if you could choose, like, if people would love you or fear you, which would you choose? And it's like, well, you see trouble with both. Yeah, people love you, but they walk all over you.
Mm-hmm.
And then they fear you, but they're trying to secretly conspire against you.
You try to create like a standard for them. So like I've been trying to break out of just telling them to do it and walking them through it and be like, hey, let's pick this up and talk nice and be like, hey, let's get it done.
Yeah, I used to have to make like time games. Like, let's do this quick, and then we could, and then I'd just get all crazy and make it look like it was the funnest thing on the planet, even though Legos is shit.
I tell my son, like, we'll go wash your butt because he likes to take a bath and play in there.
You gotta do what you
I'll
gotta
clean up
do,
real
man.
quick. So, oh man, it's pretty awesome. But you got any plugs that you want to shout out to for yourself? Or to Gravy Nail too?
I just want to shout out to everyone out there and thank you for listening to us. And if you feel like you're somebody that struggles with addiction or anything, like, and you worry that you're not in a safe environment, reach out. There are helplines all over the place. Call the county. There's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of material, and there's more treatment centers coming in all the time. And that's what we need to get is like awareness for these centers, because
Absolutely.
my people's, your people's, all people's is getting fucked up.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we
Hell
got to
yeah.
do something about it.
Pills, all that shit. That it's disgusting stuff to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but damn, fuck that shit. But we were talking too. You were talking about doing like music and stuff like that. Is that
Yeah,
coming to
so
fruition?
me and Control, if you ever listen to the Gravy Nail, you'll know Control is the loudmouth in the background that never says anything. The quiet one. Who
What up,
screams.
Z?
But he's got some musical talent. Yeah, he's a good
Mhm.
guy.
Yeah, he plays guitar
And
pretty smooth.
I just have a basement, so he comes over and we dabble. I've got a DAW, one of them digital audio workstations or something. I don't know what
Yeah.
the jargon is.
But-
The internet's gonna eat that one up. Sorry.
You do some of that stuff with your son though too, right?
Yep. We make beats in the lab and stuff, and it's just kind of fun. And we're kind of doing like some Gravy Nail stuff. We're gonna start doing our own soundtracks, background music, our own intros. If you've listened to the Gravy Nail, you'll hear some of my stuff at the beginning. Some of the intro commercials are just me being normal.
Some of them are hilarious. Man, I feel bad for your grandma though. She must have like 10 black eyes by now.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a thug. That was a hard won fight.
She had the juice before that.
For real, dude. How you think I got it? I stole it from grandma.
So yeah,
But
you
yeah,
sent
so
me
I
some
mean-
samples on there too, and like that SoundCloud and stuff like that. It was pretty nice.
We got some stuff up. I'll put a link and stuff. I'm still learning, so just be patient. And if you like the Gravy Nail, come around. And
Right.
I'm excited to be here on CloudSlayer stuff because I fucking wholly support this dude.
Well,
He's got fun stuff. I like watching his gameplay content.
yeah, we're also here to hear about yourself, sir. You know what I mean? Do care, do love you. Glad you can. Gravy Nail.
Gravy Nail.
Hell yeah.
I looked real fat when I stood up. I'm like a half Nelson. They're gonna be like, "Is that Nelson?"
Hell yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, anytime you got any questions, obviously you can ask me. I ask you all the time and shit like that.
Yeah. So I mean, like, what was your life growing up? You know, like, did you have enough outlets, or did you find drugs early on?
I was pretty young. We grew up like a foster home with my older cousins, so they grew up like my brothers and sisters. They're half Native American, half African American, but the race doesn't really fucking matter, you know.
No,
Family's family.
When you're
so.
in, you're in. You know, family.
Absolutely, I love them to the ends of earth, but they would also, we'd smoke cigarettes. I was probably as young as 8 when I first seen like weed and stuff like that for myself. Smoked
Did
them.
you get nauseous smoking cigarettes?
Cigarettes? Yeah, I threw up in a toilet the first time I ever smoked a
It's
cigarette.
always the good stuff,
Like the
dude.
first-
I love that part.
Oh, it's
it's
disgusting.
so bad.
Couldn't imagine smoking a whole pack like they said the old
Yeah, that's what
punishment
they used
was.
to, you'd sit there and make you smoke a whole shinny,
whole pack of cigars.
all the squares.
But for me, it was mostly just sports, hanging out with my friends around the neighborhood and shit like that. Would kind of get into trouble, do dumb shit, you know what I mean? But who the fuck doesn't, act
Right.
like you're a local neighborhood gang or some dumb shit like that. NBK.
Well, and anytime, like you're in sports and stuff like that, you're kind of just, there's more testosterone. The boys rally each other up. We were the same way in skateboarding. We all egg each other on,
Absolutely.
because that's how you get better at stuff is you push each other. Oh, that was a bitch shot, like
You can't punch.
You call that bleeding? You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah. And it's the same with girls. It's not boys and it's everyone.
Yeah.
You all egg each other on, and that's the fun part of it. But like I said, it gets to a point of like, okay, what's next?
Right.
You know?
Pretty soon you're just like, I don't know. You're just doing weird, raunchy shit. You know what I mean? Borderline illegal sometimes, or 100% illegal. So.
Yeah, like getting your dick out at the quick stop.
Peeing on the side, toilets right next to it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too bad. So I was very fortunate. Have both parents. Not everybody's afforded both parents. So.
True that. That is a blessing. That is a blessing.
Sometimes though they do get two, and they might experience something bad for them.
Right.
So.
They could have been better off with just one of them. Sometimes the duo makes the damage.
Oh yeah, so I was good to have positive reinforcements. Well, at the same time, it was strict growing up, so I got my ass beat, but I did deserve it because I did some really dumb shit. Got caught for it. You know what I mean? So
Right. And it's funny too, because we're coming out of a generation. Well, you're a little bit younger than me.
Yeah.
I'm only, I'll let you guess. But
lady never reveals her age.
true that. I'm quite the lady.
My bad.
But yeah, like we come out of a generation where we get a whooping, you know, or
Yeah.
our parents, they paddle some ass. Like, I had a big brother, he'd get at me. You know, like if my mom was at home, he'd get at me.
Hell yeah.
But you don't, in turn, like, it's almost like because we got that, we don't necessarily need to whoop our kids' ass.
Yep.
Because I think we're just coming off of ass whooping just harder. You know,
Yeah.
it's like now when you say to your kids, well, what the fuck you say to me, boy?
Right.
And they're just like, oh,
Get off, Rocky.
Yeah, it got a little weird right there. Be like, yeah, that's an old ass whooping coming back up.
Old school, mama
That's a
special.
historical ass kicking about to come back round.
Your great grandma taught me
You know
this
what
one.
I mean? Like, so, I mean, because I don't have to chase my kids around the house. Your kid's good.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, he's still young.
Yeah,
So I don't, you know,
Not
if I see somebody spank their kid in public, I'm not going to call the cops on them.
right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
don't make me feel uneasy. You know what I mean?
You know, like it's not a real thing to me. I'm not going to tell you how to raise your kids unless I think like the kid's life is in danger.
Right.
Like if you're paddling the kid's face repeatedly.
Right, but like, yeah, there's some people that like beat their kids. Like I remember some of my family. That's how it was. You know, it was some crazy shit. But you know, abuse is out there too, and that fucks a lot of people up too. So
It's real.
you gotta. Some people don't see their actions because of drugs. Because like in my family, it was a lot of drinking, pills, and all that kind of stuff too. So it's
And then what do you do with regret, right?
right.
Like how do you cope with that? You know,
Keep
like,
doing drugs. A lot of those people.
you
know?
just keep burying it, don't you?
Yep. Absolutely.
It's so disgusting. And then that's the fear. I think half the time is people they want to sober up, but they're like, if anything like me, I was afraid of the person I would see when I did sober up. You spend your, you know, many years building this persona around your party boy character, you know, like,
yeah. You kind of get numb to it, and you're
Yep.
just like, you
and
want to
then
hide
just-
from it all of a sudden, you know, or towards the end of your, you know, your dark years. That's when it becomes dark because you're hiding from yourself.
Right. What starts off as like a social engagement eventually turns to you chugging fucking Hawkeye vodka in the closet, crying yourself to sleep, quite literally,
Right.
because you were almost out of Hawkeye vodka and you wouldn't have enough to make it through the next day, and you knew you were going to get sick.
Fuck yeah. So since we know you dabbled in marijuanas and
I've
you know,
married a
drank
couple of iguanas.
Very
I performed a few services. They were lovely.
but people always say like weed gets a bad rap of being the gateway drug, but I don't know about you, but my personal perspective is like it was always alcohol that got me into some shit. I don't know about you. What's your take on that one? Being a gateway
I don't want to
drug?
play advocate, you know, because you come off, and I think addiction in any form, no matter what it is, it could be coffee, it could be anything. So I want to speak on that. Like, if it's something that's messing up your life to the point that it's affecting your quality of life, say like weed for most people ain't no thing. They can go to work, they can do whatever. They live
People do get
long,
fucking
fruitful lives, and they are pain free,
addicted
and
to
they're
it.
lovely, and they're law abiding citizens. Some people, you might just be get too debilitated to get your ass off the couch and pay them fucking bills. And then, yes, weed is an issue. But I think it's not a gateway anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I
It,
mean,
it becomes an excuse at some
right.
point.
I'm
so.
from Colorado, and I'm pretty sure that state can still function. You know what I mean? They're all doing big
Snoop
things.
Dogg was over there, I heard.
you know,
no, he
so-
doesn't.
It's just a matter of,
Right.
you know, like anything in excess can be a problem.
It probably depends on where your mind's at. You know what I mean? So
Right.
where it takes you mentally.
I knew a kid that, for real, every time he got high, would see Smurfs,
Smurf.
and I don't think that's safe.
I had a buddy put himself
Because
in
they gave him a
timeout.
driving license. Yeah. At least he put himself in timeout.
Yeah.
Though. Props to that, dude.
Oh,
Definitely
man.
props to that. Oh, that's awesome.
I won't say your name though, buddy.
But no, I think like marijuana can be fine
hmm
if you're good. I think people that drink can be fine if you're good. Like alcohol, you know, like I don't purposely stay away from people that drink because I don't drink.
Right.
You know, it's not the world against me. It's me against the world. It's my vice, right?
Absolutely.
So like I don't go to bars anymore because I've realized like I was that obnoxious motherfucker at the bar. So I don't really
Same.
go with like super intoxicated people, but I don't care to be, you know, if I'm around like family, friends, it's a gathering. There's beverages everywhere. I don't get all sweaty.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Same.
I roll with it. Probably Mike could smoke whatever, but
Yeah.
You
Have a
know?
cigarette and shit like
Yeah,
that.
just smoke the cigarettes and chill back and just kind of watch them do silly things. And you can remember good times. You can be like, oh, I remember when I was messed up once and I fell down the stairs. And that's fine. That's light,
Yeah.
right?
You just help them into
Yeah,
their
just get 'em
door,
up.
into
Just
their
get 'em
bed and
up,
stuff.
brush them off.
Brush off your brothers, man.
Brush off your aunties, you know, get
Oh,
them
yeah.
on their way. But yeah, so it's, I mean, anything in excess. I
Absolutely.
would say, like, I have respect for, you know, religious services as far as like psilocybins, things like that.
Right.
You know, there's aspects to what they call drugs, which are actually just, you know, things for rituals and stuff.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that the law should get in the way of that. You know, people's been doing things the way they want for a long ass time. You
But
can't just fuck all that
At
up.
the same time, I think people need to be more mindful of some of these scientific experimentations that they got going on. You know, seeing how, you know, statistics, not experimentations, I guess, but statistics that happen to people. Because like with weed and
Numbers.
stuff like that, it can like induce schizophrenia. So that's something to be mindful of, especially if you carry like a certain DNA, I guess, within
Yeah,
yourself.
but like with anything, you want to watch for the side effects, right? Cupcakes, you know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
if you smoke weed and you start violently throwing up, Mike could want to stop. You
Right.
know, like don't go harder. Don't switch to the next drug
Yeah,
because it's not going to.
Don't try to get used to it. That doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
just move on. Maybe eat crayons. I don't know what you're into, but
Maybe you should, like, I don't know, go for a walk. You know what I mean? Clear your mind. You know
Walk.
what I mean?
healthier.
Talk to yourself, give yourself, you know, a little bit of
Skateboard.
advice. Yeah, take something that preoccupies your mind. You know what I mean? It might not be sitting there. It might be punching a bag. It might be doing something like that. Playing a video game. Learn how to play chess. Play a guitar. You know what I mean? It's not easy to preoccupy yourself when you got so much time on your hands. You know, because the more advanced that our civilization seems to get, it seems like the more you spend it secluded for most people. You know.
Well, and it's like the a very short attention span. We are overstimulated.
Mhm.
You know, everything's like bright lights, big city, fast cars, big titties. I don't know how the rhyme goes.
Might be
but
creating
something
more
like that.
brats too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you
little
said, get away-
peckerhead kids,
get away from that
man,
screen a
they're
little bit.
everywhere, bro. Some running around like walking on the block, and some little peckerhead said, "What's up, fam?" I said, "Oh boy, if I was your fam, woo!"
Oh man, I'd
One of
slap
those historical ass kickings might come around. Mhm.
Right. But you know, get out there, get a little bit active. You know, so
Yeah, get busy.
oh yeah,
You know, like that's part of it is finding what you could do for fun and be sober.
and be sober.
You know what I mean? Like, because there's certain things like hot pockets and things that are no good when you're sober.
Right.
You know, like I like frisbee golf now. I never used to really play it because I'd like be flopping around on the lawn, or
Right.
just laying there all lazy, just wanting to drink. But now I really like it, and I'm getting kind of good at it.
All right. So as we're doing a podcast, what type of podcast do you prefer? You know what I mean?
Oh, I love
Like a murder mystery or something.
some
like
murder
that?
mystery. I like history,
History, yeah.
comedic history. I like retellings of historical events.
Oh, yeah.
I like the ghost stories from like all over when people write in and tell their own
Loch Ness
stories.
monsters and stuff too.
Yeah, dude, cryptos like cryptids. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know that much about them, but if I saw Sam Squanch, bro, high fives.
Those
all
freaking
day.
alien ones, those are pretty
Oh,
badass.
dude. I like, I listen to some, like, what the hell is that one?
Joe Rogan, anything like that?
No, I mean, it's on the playlist. He's
Yeah.
great. Joe Rogan's great.
Right.
That dude is busy. He puts them all to shame. He's got a badass podcast. He's killing it. out
Right,
there.
working his butt off.
Yeah, but we do like for the kids. We do the car trivia in car trivias.
Okay.
So it's just podcast while you're driving around, and
Mhm.
it's family friendly. There's so many like different ones. So we'll do like Disney ones, Pokemon ones. They got
Pokemon's
yeah,
nice.
like all the kids, Lego ones, Marvel shit.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
So-
That's fun as
But
fuck.
yeah, I think my big ones are history, some murder,
Yeah.
and some history comedy.
Which one's your favorite one right now? Would you say
Probably your podcast,
your podcast?
yours.
Mine? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, because it's like I know you,
yeah.
and it's nice, like, because when like when you first see somebody, you obviously anyone that says they don't like obviously make a quick judgment about somebody's character just from first look, they're fucking lying.
Right.
So the first time you see somebody, you're already formulating something.
Right.
So I looked at you and I thought, this guy looks nice, but he doesn't look intelligent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you
Yeah, I get
you were
that.
doing that, just kind of giggling and like bobbing your head. And I was like, he's a fucking nice guy. And then lo and behold, in betwixt the giggles comes out all this fucking knowledge on sports,
Yeah.
health, nutrition, fights,
Big ass weirdo.
drinking, recovery, religion, like all kinds of fun stuff. Asian mullets.
Asian mullet.
Dude, he's got everything.
Check it out. Yeah, I mean,
But I was just kind of blown away, and now I get to hang out with you all the time, and to do like this with you is fun as hell, dude.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
stoked to be here.
fucking dope as shit. But I don't know. It's probably because I try to be more open minded. You know, I like to laugh a lot because what's the point of feeling bad? Like we talk about.
We need humor.
I had a really good friend. I remember when I was younger, I used to be crabby as fuck. Everybody was like, "Oh man, you're just one crabby dude." You know what I mean? But I was one friend that no matter what, like his living situation and stuff like that, he was in couch to couch even at fucking 6th grade. You know what I mean? But he always had a smile on it. And I'm like, one day I asked him, man, and he goes, "You know what, man? Life's too short. You know, just because I think it's bad doesn't mean I got it the worst in the world." And I was like, man, that's some deep shit, man, for a kid in fucking 6th grade to tell me
Right,
that.
to already have that grasp over like perspective,
Absolutely.
at that young age.
Yeah, it made me like realize, maybe I am just a big dummy, but keep my ears open to that shit. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah, cat's out the bag.
Yeah.
You're just big. You're not a dummy now. Everyone knows you're smart.
Right.
It's over, dude.
Try to, anyways, but I mean, I'm a little weirdo, but whatever. It is what it is.
I love it.
I became who I am through my own experiences in life, and you don't have to understand it, but it did make me a better person.
I think that's the beautiful part is experiences. Like anything, take the good
Yeah.
and leave the bad behind.
The book doesn't always tell the full story, so you know what I mean. Get to know somebody. You might be scared, might be intimidated. I've been told I'm intimidating or something. So.
Sometimes you have to burn the book to see the truth in the smoke.
Absolutely.
That's not an analogy.
No. It's just a saying now. It exists. It's out there. You better throw your name on it.
That's right. It's mine now.
Right. So. I appreciate that, brother. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
dude. Yeah, it's been good. What do you mostly listen to? Sports stuff? You like comedies?
I like comedies. I do like Theo Von right now. He's funny as fuck.
He's got a nice mullet. He's got a great mullet.
The one where he talks about the fucking fighting the black guys at night.
Oh yeah, like as many as you can imagine.
And then, for you insensitive guys, imagine fighting 5 white dudes, but in a cloud.
Right, but in a cloud.
He's funny as shit.
He's great. I do
Oh,
like
man.
him. I just watched him on Hot Ones
That one's.
not too long back. I'll watch that.
Oh
shit.
yeah, what is that? King and the Sting, stuff like that. It's pretty awesome shit. For podcasts, it's mostly like JRE, you guys obviously, and that's probably about it. Sometimes I might dabble in like used to be like Dan Carlin for like a history podcast.
Okay.
So he has some free ones up there. I'd recommend them. They tell some interesting ass stories in history. Like this dude's like an amateur historian and shit like that. So he gets all the details and shit like that.
When they get like a different take,
Yeah, yeah.
you always get something different with them.
Like this one episode, I think it was called "The King of Kings" #3, but they're like religious fanatics, and the kid literally talked to everybody in the town to let just him and one soldier fight in an incoming army, and that God said that they were going to stop it.
Really?
But didn't work, guys. One guy isn't going to stop him. They hung his balls like right on the front of the thing, castrated this young man. I think he was like 14, they said. It was crazy. Like, how'd this kid talk him into that, But
I know they barely drop and they're getting whacked off.
right, but it was crazy. But they also talk about, like, in history about, like, the knights and the, like, poor people had to go up against, like, the king and shit like that. It's interesting shit. Like, at any point, that shit can happen now, except, we don't have knights and shit like that. But
We got each other.
it's
I will dub thee, dude.
W.
I will.
It could be the same thing. Like we could have the like it's the military or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So it can still hit home, even though in different times, because history has tend to repeat itself at times.
Yeah, it's a doozy like that. I do love history, man. Like
Yeah.
all the crazy stuff and it's a story of perseverance on all fronts. You know, anyone that's here today to look back has struggled and made it somewhere, somehow, fucking awesomely.
Fuck yeah. But you never make it there alone. If you do, you're probably 1 in a million, 1 in a trillion maybe. So you got to get out there. You got to make it happen. You know, change isn't going to be handed to you. Nothing in life's going to be handed to you. You got to go out there and you got to fucking make it happen. So
Ask.
yeah.
Or use your manners.
Yeah, if you don't know, hey man, hey Matt, Word, you know how to do that? You know what I mean?
Like, no, but I know a guy who does. Let's
Yeah.
go get Eric.
We got Frankie down the street.
That's right. We got somebody. We got a dude. We know a guy who knows one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh shit.
Beautiful.
Fuck yeah, brother. I do appreciate you coming out.
Thanks for having me.
We can we could shoot the shit after this, but might be a good cast, I think, brother.
Yeah.
You,
Thanks for coming and hanging out. I have been Matty Gams from the Gravy Nail, my friend.
Yeah.
CloudSlayer 53.
Yeah. So if everybody on Spotify, YouTube, anything like that, hit up the Gravy Nail on Spotify. You guys got looking into getting like into YouTube and shit like that?
Yeah, yep. We're gonna probably do some YouTube stuff because the full Nelson wants everyone to see how big he is. So we're gonna do a full reveal. We'll get a bigger screen.
Oh yeah.
For that. But yeah, I mean, if you want to see the other side of me, the quieter crying side in the corner, come over to Gravy Nail.
Hell yeah.
Travis will be there.
I'll drop by. You know what I mean?
Yep,
So
true that.
also, if you write it down, I'll be able to put it on the screen. But hit me up on YouTube, CloudSlayer 53, Spotify, the CloudSlayer podcast, and I'm your host. Have a great night, guys. Peace. Thanks for tuning in.